All right, moving on to the next Patreon request, and this one comes from Dominique Fuentes, who asked me to do a hero-villain mashup between Sora from Kingdom Hearts and Esdeath from Akime ga Kill. But before, as always, before we get to that, if you guys would like, anyone out there would like a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the 3rd tier. That'll allow you access to do so, as well as check out all the other stuff exclusively on Patreon as well. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So, for those who don't know, any new subscribers on here who don't know what hero-villain mashup is, hero-villain mashup is basically where I take a hero and basically have it like, what if this villain or group of villains was in this person's rogues gallery? So, yeah, we've got Esdeath, and what would it be like if she was a villain to Sora? Now, first and foremost, I don't think she would find him attractive like the way she does, main protagonist does. There's so many jokes about that, but I think like how Esdeath would see Sora, first and foremost. How I think how Esdeath would view Sora is probably in the vein of, I think like how they would view Sora, like how Esdeath would view Sora is like, this guy is against everything that my kingdom stands against. He's this idealist, he's about freedom and equality and everything else. He is a light that needs to be snuffed out. Like, he is something that needs to be eradicated. And Sora would look at her and be like, wow, I have fought like Heartless and Organization 13 and villains, but like I have very rarely encountered a fascist like you. So we're not going to talk about like fight, like this isn't like an actual fight video. This is more like talking about like what if Esdeath was one of Sora's villains. But so this is like, for Dominique mentioned that this would be post KH3 Sora, who is kind of godlike by the end of it, but still. It's kind of hard to find it's kind of hard to fight someone who can easily just, stop time for however long she wants. Like, that's kind of something that you need to like address, is that Sora is nothing short. Sora is nothing short of a powerhouse, as is Esdeath. But Esdeath, like I said, she would just be out in force. Like, if she knew about like Donald and Goofy or any of Sora's friends, she would be out in force looking to hurt them. And she's got Esdeath. If you've seen the anime, Esdeath basically loves to hurt people. Like, that's her whole thing, is that she is big on pain. She's big on inflicting it on someone, whether it be psychological or what have you. If anything, she loves to get her point across, and the point across is death, hence her name. Now, Sora, on the other hand, I do think Sora would try to, like, as always, Sora would try to go the Steven Universe route and try to talk to her at first, but it's also not going to be like Steven Universe, where he's like, I'm trying to reach out to you every time. He's going to be like, I'm going to try to reach out to you once. That don't work, you're going to get a Keyblade to the face. Like, like, that's how Sora progressed through the game, where it's like, yeah, I still believe in hope and light, but I also am not a fucking idiot. He's gonna, like, try to, like, talk Esdeath down, and then the moment Esdeath is like, nah, I'm not listening, Sora's like, cool beans, I was hoping you'd say the hard way, too. So, yeah, it's very much, Sora is, like, very much in the line of, I'm a healer, but, it's like that meme. But, yeah. So, could Esdeath beat Sora in a fight? We're not here to discuss that. I do think that, since this is post KH3, like Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora, it would be difficult for Esdeath to take him out. But again, she can stop time and also, like, make the elements her bitch. Just saying she's a powerhouse, but I don't know if she'd be on Sora, like, that maxed out Sora, that level of, on that same level. So that's something you really have to, like, think about in this kind of situation. I will also say that I do think Sora would, like, the other thing is that Esdeath is a general. Let's actually talk about that. Like, Esdeath is a, general who can, just call on more forces if need be. Like, she could just call on more forces, and while Sora's, like, trying to battle his way to get to her, Esdeath is off, like, stabbing bleh. I feel like my brain just skipped there. Just stabbing the shit out of Donald and Goofy right in front of him. So, she's kind of a sadistic monster, and she would kind of get her jollies off of killing Sora's friends, getting him angry, and just for the, like, yeah, I like that look in your eye of that pain and sorrow. So, Sora has encountered villains like that. That's another thing you have to really, like, think about, is that Sora has encountered villains like Esdeath, but Esdeath is also, like, just, to quote Chris Tucker from Rush Hour 2, "You are one psycho bitch!" So there you go. But anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, who do you think Sora could hold his own against Esdeath? And how do you think it would be like if she was a villain in Sora's Rogues Gallery? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'd like to thank Dominic Fuentes for his Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.